Well, good morning, everybody, and Rob Syke here, and excited to be able to share with you 6 ways for you to monetize your brain with AGvisorPRO. We've been on this journey for a while now, and I founded the company in late 2018, came back in March, and we've grown our team and excited to share with you where we're going with AGvisorPRO. So this is all about you, and we're going to share with you 6 ways for you to monetize your brain and grow your business and increase your traffic with AGvisorPRO. Back in 2018, we came up with the idea of mashing together eHarmony together with FaceTime, together with Uber and Twitter. We mashed it together. We did some focus groups because we knew that the winds of change were blowing with respect to the utilization of technology to make agriculture to come together in a new way. Then in March, COVID hit, and the winds of change were blowing, and COVID has simply filled our sails. So we were ready for this thing, and we're really excited to share with you how to grow your business using AGvisorPRO. Pretend you're a farmer in Cadillac, Saskatchewan. I've been there. It's a long way from anywhere, and you've got a bug in your wheat, and you've got a lame horse in the barn. You've got a tractor with a frozen monitor. You've got a combine at an auction sale you'd like to inspect. You can't get there. You've been on a 1-800 hold for 45 minutes. Your anxiety level is pretty high. You're feeling overwhelmed. You need some help. That help needs to be customized for your farm. You need answers now. So that's what we've done with AGvisorPRO. AGvisorPRO, the theory is that we could take what's happening in the world today with respect to sensor technology that will tell a farmer where he has a problem. Maybe recognition software eventually can tell the farmer what the problem is. But why the problem is there and how to fix it, well, that's the realm of the human being. That's your domain, and we believe that'll be your domain for a long, long time. AGvisorPRO is about connecting high tech with high touch, creating that interface so that we can leverage and monetize and make better use of the human brain and your experience. So for example, you've got a situation where you've got something going on in your tractor. The AGvisorPRO application connects farmers to experts. So what does this pin cluster do? And the expert gets on with the farmer in real time and says, well, the electronic control, that pin assembly is for accessories on your tractor. This is an example of how AGvisorPRO can work. So next slide is all about the idea that until we have Star Trek transporters, I'm a big Trekkie fan, we have to find a way to shrink time and space, to stretch brains and not bodies, to get you on the farm without being on the farm. How do we do that? Well, AGvisorPRO connects agriculture in a brand new way. It creates that kind of connectivity where we don't need to put people into trucks and airplanes and traveling. We're creating a connectivity matrix here, connecting farmers with independent advisors like yourselves and industry advisors and industry reps and government researchers and even the public. And every single one of these intersection points is a value creation opportunity. If you look at the independent line, your line, you can create value by helping farmers, by helping other independents, by helping industry, by tapping into industry, and by even helping the public. This is what we've created with AGvisorPRO, this interconnectivity matrix. So AGvisorPRO works by creating a match. The algorithm matches the seeker to you as an advisor. We create an audio, a video, a high-resolution picture, a chat sharing. The whole session is archived for future reference by the user. Transactions that monetize your advice are fully embedded into the software. A rating system is put into place, and then we allowed it to integrate with social media to extend your reach. AGvisorPRO is available on desktop, Android, and iOS. You can download it right now today and use it, and we know that many of you are already. So what we'd like to do is we'd like to take you guys on a journey on how to make better use of this. We have won the 2020 Ag Innovation of the Year award. We've got over 200 experts like yourselves on the system, over 1,000 users, over 1 million acres. Lakeland and Olds College are integrating AGvisorPRO into their curriculum. We're working with Alberta Innovates and IRAP NRC. And as a bonus, we've got all of these companies now that you can tap into for free. All of these tech direct partners, and we're going to grow this roster of companies, are here for you guys to tap into. So as advisors, you guys can tap into the knowledge and wisdom of these companies and share that information back with your customers. Our team is growing. Myself, I've been involved in creating AgriTrend and AgriData. That was a wonderful journey, and many AgriTrend people are involved with AGvisorPRO. We sold that to Trimble. I also served as CEO of DOT, which was acquired by Raven. Patrick Walther, my co-founder, speaks 4 languages. He's Swiss, been involved in creating a two-sided marketplace in Switzerland between pasture-raised goose meat and the 2 largest supermarkets in Switzerland. Jonathan McDonald has been involved as a digital lead in the acquisition of Monsanto by Bayer. We've got lots and lots of expertise and are adding on right now. We've grown from 2 to over 20 people in AGvisorPRO since March. So we've got lots of expertise to help you, to support you, to teach you how to monetize and utilize our platform to grow your business. At this time, I'd like to introduce Wilson Schultz. He's our customer success specialist. Wilson, why don't you take it away for these folks?
Hey everyone, it's really good to see that so many of you could make it. As Rob mentioned, I'm the customer success specialist. So I got the pleasure of meeting many of you over AGvisorPRO for the first time, and I got to learn about your background, and I also got to help you set up your profiles. So just over a week ago, we sent out a survey to you experts for feedback. Thank you to all of you who answered this survey. We really appreciate it. I want to go over the results with you today so we can, in the process of gearing you up for looking at the 6 ways to monetize your brain with AGvisorPRO. So we're going to go over the results together, and then I'm going to pass it off to Patrick, and he's going to show you what we're doing to address the results from the survey. So first off, I'm going to touch on what's called a Net Promoter Score, or NPS. So this is an index. It ranges from -100 at terrible to 100 at amazing. So a Net Promoter Score is basically, it measures the customer's willingness to promote a company and their satisfaction with a product. So let's go to the next slide here. And we found with our survey that we have a Net Promoter Score of 20. So we're not amazing yet. We want to get there. We found that 10% were detractors, so likely to speak negatively about AGvisorPRO. We found that 60% were passive, so things are going all right. And we found that 30% were promoters. So obviously we want to take that to 100 as soon as possible. So we asked the question, is there anything you find to be frustrating or a poor user experience? We had 22% of you that said creating my account was a frustrating experience. We had how to connect with farmers coming in at 44%. You want more farmers to connect with you and you want to know more how that works. We also had 55% answered other. So here were some of the other popular responses. The notification sent to me disappears and I cannot find who contacted me. More farmer customers, I have not received any connection requests yet. And then editing my expert profile was also another concern. So if we keep moving on here, roughly speaking, how many times have you used the app? We also asked that question and it was between 2 and 5. So obviously we want to take that to hundreds and hundreds of times, but it wasn't like it was once or never for the most part. So just moving on, we're going to do our own poll in here. Chantel's going to post this up, and if you could post this right away, that'd be awesome. If you could all answer this, basically based on the survey results, we found that there were 3 basic areas where we could do a better job and we could improve. Notifications when trying to connect are not clear enough, no farmers contacted me, editing my expert profile. If you could choose one of those that you feel you most want us to improve right away, we'll just have a great opportunity to gather some feedback right now from everyone in the webinar. And then if the answer that you wanna say is not in there, please put it in the chat box and Chantel's gonna record it for us so that we can come back and look at it later. And we're gonna shut the poll down here right away. So if you get your answers in, that'd be great. And then I'm gonna pass it off to Patrick Walther, Chief Operating Officer of AGvisorPRO. Patrick's gonna walk you through the new UI UX update. And he's gonna tell you what that means. And he's gonna show you what we're doing to address some of these concerns that were brought up in the survey.
Cool. Well, thanks very much, Wilson, for passing this over for sure. So glad to have you on the team and everybody else as well. So Chantel, are we good with the poll? It looks like poll has been closed. I think Jill will make sure to get you into the poll at the end as well, for sure. Anyways, what the heck is UI UX, right? Like, what does it mean? Well, it means user interface and user experience. And so we've been doing a lot of work to work on this and really improve it, because we quite frankly listened to you guys and heard that not all the things are perfect. So let me address some of the issues that we saw in that recent survey as well. First off, one of the things that has been noted is like all of those notifications, they're coming in, it is kind of confusing. So I just want to show you on how this currently works so that you know if you're going to have a call in the next little while on how this actually is going to work. And I made a quick video for this. So what happens is there is a push notification coming onto your phone. Within 1 minute, you need to answer yes or no. Click on that push notification and say you are available right away, or you can postpone it by 5, 10, or 15 minutes. That's how it is currently. So let's talk about how this is going to look down the future and how this new platform will actually look like. Okay, so first of all, we built an entire new user experience and an entire new look to this. So the user interface is really clean, crisp, and sexy. And I'll just give you a little sneak peek with a little video here as well. It just has clear call to actions. It is clear where you have to go. Where does it say where to become an advisor, etc. It always says at the bottom, you know, do you want to connect or you want to schedule with someone? The scheduling is now better in terms of like your time zones. So it really has just been brought to the next level, if that makes any sense. But let's talk about how we're going to handle push notifications in the future. So we realize that push notification is maybe not the best way of making a session with you from the get-go. So if someone will connect with you in the future through a session, it will ring like a normal phone call and you can take the call and off you go. However, you will not get any information with that specific call. But if someone schedules a call with you, we have built a completely different flow for that as well. So if someone schedules a session with you, what's going to happen is, and I have a quick video here for this as well, it sends you a push notification. You click on it and you see, hey, Benny actually wants to talk to you. And you see he would like to talk to you for 40 minutes. You see how much he's going to pay for that specific duration. You have a description and you have the ability again as well to reschedule. So you can go in there and you can say, okay, I'd like to do it at 2 p.m. And again, this is something we listen. It's not in 24 hours anymore, not the European way. It's going to be in AM and PM. And then you can literally just say, okay, we do it at 1 o'clock, off you go. So this is, again, I think we really listen to what you guys have told us, and we hope we can address it by that. So let's get to the last concern that we've kind of heard in this survey as well. And it was about how to create my account and the expert profile setup. And I apologize, I brought quite a lot of you people on at the beginning as well. I know it was a cumbersome process, and that's quite one of the reasons why we hired Wilson and McKinsey too. So what's going to happen right now is basically people who are becoming a new expert, they almost have to apply to become one. And once they do that, they really get hand-holded through with Wilson or Mac or myself, where we help you set up the profile. And so I'll just show you how this new profile setup will go. You can click at the beginning. You can say, I want to become an advisor. You would say, hey, I'd like to apply for one. And then you go in. Some of you for sure have seen this, how to add your expertises. You would go in there. It has been a bit more cleaner made on how to add expertises. And what we've also done is we built a search function on how to or how to add which categories of expertises. So now, for example, in insects, you could type in, hey, I want to also be a specialist in bee pollination. You would type in bee pollination and it would show up and give you some related tags to that as well. And so without spending too much time, I'm going to skip over a couple of slides here now, but I'll talk about next about the professional designations. Some of you have reached out to us and said like, hey, there's a professional designation that I have, but it's missing. So we'll build a piece that will give you the ability to reach out to us and say, hey, I'd like to become a certified yoga teacher. How can I add it? And off you go, right? And we add it to our platform. Education, not much has changed. It'll be pretty similar. However, what we've done a bit better, I would say, is the region. It's been quite buried beforehand, where you can now go in and say, hey, my expertise actually only applies to those specific regions. And we also have now the US going to be on our platform. And then last but not least, also, we just made it easier to add your biography and your profile picture. And without saying too much, but I tell you this much, that is maybe one of the 6 ways on how to monetize your brain and how to grow your business. So without further ado, I think I'll pass it off to Chantel and Rob to finally get to the point soon.
Well, thanks, Patrick. Patrick has done a lot of work, and the new UI UX that he showed you is on our roadmap, and it'll be unveiled in the next number of months coming up here. So some of the issues that you guys are sharing with us in the poll are going to be addressed with the new UI UX. And if you've got additional suggestions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. I want to talk about what AGvisorPRO is and is not. With AgriTrend and AgriData and stuff, we built a consulting firm. AGvisorPRO is not a consulting firm. It's a connectivity platform. And in my mind, I see 2 kinds of advisors that are in our platform. The first advisor is technical in nature. The seeker or the farmer is trying to get a quick answer, frequently asked questions. It's like an in and out. So there's a question: what does this pin assembly do? Well, it's for your accessories on your tractor. Kind of, you solve the problem. What kind of bug is in my field, and do I kill it? What's the threshold? Those are technical type of questions. A guy like Scott Mears, for example, Scott could be driving and be in 2 farms in one day, but with AGvisorPRO, he could visit 10, 15 fields in one day, helping out many, many more farmers. The second type of advisor is more in terms of a longer term relationship. And there's many of you on this call that have long-term client relationships. And it's our hope that AGvisorPRO might serve as an initial connection between you and maybe a longer-term contract. And that's okay. Elaine Fraze is offering a lot of support for farm families. And it might be that somebody's got a situation with their son-in-law, and the initial connection, the initial 1 or 2 sessions can happen through AGvisorPRO, and eventually that may move off into a longer term contract. So we see AGvisorPRO as an alternate channel, a way for you to extend your brain to reach out into the larger marketplace and grow your business if you'd like to, or if you have the capacity to answer those questions, you could do it from anywhere on the planet. So I'm going to turn it over right now to Nick Syke and Chantel, who are going to talk to you about how to maximize your business on AGvisorPRO. Nick Syke.
Nick, you're on mute. There you go.
Well, that was less exciting. Cool. I messed that one up. I can edit this after though, so I can just make it look fine. So we've got kind of 2 sides to talk to you a little bit about in terms of just improving this experience for everybody. One, we're going to talk to you a little bit about what you can do inside of the AGvisorPRO platform to increase your business, increase your visibility, just make it more likely that a farmer is going to reach out for you. On the other side too, we want to talk about what we can do outside of the AGvisorPRO platform to help grow the business, help grow awareness about it, and just in general, get your business flowing through the app where it can. So that's the general idea of what we're about to go through right now, and we can advance the slide. So the basics first, I think I'll hand this off to Chantel because this is all about how to set up the profile. So Chantel, take it away.
Hi everybody, I'm Chantel Taves, and I get the pleasure to tell you guys about the 5 important things that you need to do for your profile. And I know a lot of you have already set up your profiles and they're really good, and some of you might just be getting started. So for those of you that already have expert profiles, just bear with me. So the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is the profile photo. So visuals are no longer a necessity, they're an essential core component of a successful social media strategy. So as humans, we naturally gravitate to images as they grab our attention and they're easy to consume. So a little fun fact for you guys, research has determined that the average person can recognize familiar faces within 380 milliseconds. So get your photo up. People, it is proven if you have a photo up on your profile, you're going to be clicked on more than somebody that does not have a photo. So I have a few tips here for you guys. The first one, don't take it yourself. We don't want no selfies. Don't take a selfie. Head and shoulders. We don't need to see your whole body. Lighting is important, so make sure it's clear, it's bright. We don't want any shadows on your face. Background is also important. I know you guys are in agriculture, so if you want to be in a field or you want machinery in the background, by all means, go ahead. And smile. I mean, some of you won't smile, even though I tell you to smile, so do what you want. The 6th one, look at the camera. Number 7, wear what you'd wear day to day. So if you wear coveralls, that is fine to be in your profile photo. And don't use filters. So the second thing I want to talk to you guys about is your bio. So the first 1 or 2 sentences in your bio is what people are seeing. Please take time to make it clear, concise, let people know exactly who you are, what you do, how you can help them. So I'm going to pick on Tom here as an example. So his bio here says, I'm a sprayer expert in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I write for sprayers101.com and I focus on nozzle something. Obviously, I'm really interested that he writes for Sprayers 101 and I'm going to look that up right away. But I want to know more about what he focuses on. So I'm going to rewrite his bio here for him. So I'm going to write sprayer expert, Western Canada, write for sprayers101.com, focus on nozzle selection, tank cleanout, drift management, and overall sprayer efficiency. So as you guys can see, I took out that he was from Saskatchewan because that's kind of irrelevant. Even if I'm from Alberta, I'm still going to talk to him. So I want to know that he can talk to all of us in Western Canada. So maybe make your location a little bit more broad so more people will want to reach out to you.
I'm just going to interrupt you, and I just want to jump on the bandwagon here too and pick on Tom a little bit as well, since that's what we're doing. I don't know about this profile picture. Like I know he drives a Volkswagen, but I can't see Tom's handsome face. So I think we could be doing a little better in that regard, maybe. Yeah. Hey.
I think he's smiling in there, but you're right. The photo's a little bit too far out and not clear. So yeah, definitely work on his photo. And then back to his profile, I also can see that he focuses on nozzle selection. Oh, I already said that. But we know exactly what he does. And so if I'm a user on the app, I know if he can help me or not. So the third thing here is education and expertise. So also please fill in your education. If you have this on your profile, people know your experience and that they can trust you. They know that you're an expert and what your designations are. So Tom has 20 years experience and he has his PhD. As for his categories and his experience, we know that he focuses on cereal, barley, oat, wheat, and oilseed. So if I'm a farmer and I'm looking for somebody to help me with barley, I could type that into the category menu and automatically his name's going to come up in the list of all the experts and I get to scroll through now and see which one I'm going to choose. So I might go with Tom Wolf because I also see that he has a 5-star rating, which is pretty sweet. So anytime you guys have a session with a farmer, they get to rate you. So if you guys are very helpful, your rating's going to go up. Your profile's going to get all those stars, and obviously you will have your photo on there too already now, right? So people will be prone to click on your profile. The last thing that I want to talk to you guys about is your schedule. So we recommend that you leave your schedule wide open for now. Obviously, you can see on this example, we have Sunday turned off because there's a few people that do not like to work on Sundays. But the rest of the days we have it on, and we have no time limit. It doesn't start at 8 and end at 2. We have it wide open so that farmers can connect to you at any time for a session. And if you're not available, you can decline the call. And like Patrick said in his presentation earlier, you can schedule it for later on. So for now, make sure you guys do go look at your business hours, because some people do have it turned off and you're not able to be reached. So here's a little tidbit for you.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to take it away here and talk a little bit about another weird term like UI, UX, all these fancy media terms. This is one called funneling. And you may have heard the term funneling, click funneling, as it relates to like digital marketing and advertising on the internet and social media. It's a little bit like that. What I want to talk about is funneling people from your business and from your world down into the app, right? Because ultimately that's the goal here, is to get people to kind of move away from the phone, move away from email, and move away from text, and start really utilizing the app, right? Start using that channel. So what we're going to discuss here are 6 relatively easy ways to increase that traffic, to really start funneling people down. I just want to start off by saying too, just speaking back to the point that Rob made there about there being different kinds of AGvisors. What I'm going to share with you here is kind of like, from AGvisorPRO's perspective, best practices. It's the best possible thing you could do to really funnel people in there. Are you going to do it exactly this way or this deeply? Maybe, maybe not. It is going to depend on the unique nature of your own business, how this is going to best fit in there. So I'll just sketch out sort of the most you could do, and then from there we can figure out how to adapt it to each of your businesses. So the first thing is in-person funneling, right? And this just means anytime you have an in-person interaction with a potential customer, what are you doing to let them know that AGvisorPRO is an option to contact you? Obviously, after you've had a chat with somebody, you know, on their farm, in your office, whatever, it's a moment to let them know that another way to reach you is through AGvisorPRO. That moment where you might hand a business card to a new customer, that is another moment where you could consider doing something kind of this atypical, right? Maybe you have an alternate business card. Maybe that alternate business card doesn't have a phone number or an email address. Maybe the only thing it has is a connection through our platform. Now think about that, right? I mean, it strikes you as a little risky off the top. For sure, it's different, but ultimately what you're doing here is, if somebody really is compelled to talk to you, you've got an app user. You've got a farmer in the app, because they have to go through the app to contact you. You didn't give them an alternate route, a more traditional route. So this is one thing you could do to really up the traffic. We'll move on here as well. So phone and voicemail, again, every time you're taking a call, every time you're taking a voicemail, answering a voicemail, that is another moment where you could just as easily be doing that in the app in a monetized ecosystem. So again, when we're on the phone, really nice maybe to mention, hey, did you know you could also reach me through AGvisorPRO? You know, that question you just asked me, if we were doing this through AGvisorPRO, you could have sent me a video or a picture of it. I'd have a much better sense of what was going on your farm, right? The other side to this too is voicemails. Hey there, you've reached Nick Syke. I'm not available right now. Better way to reach me is through AGvisorPRO, where we can talk face-to-face, share pictures, and archive our sessions for later reference. Look forward to getting connected with you via AGvisorPRO. Or if you're boring, you can just leave an old message, right? Again, that's something you can do that really kind of pushes people that direction towards the app. The next one here is outreach. So again, we're talking to a bunch of independent business people here in AGvisors, and I know that everybody here does the occasional webinar, does the occasional conference, does that kind of outreach, you know, maybe being on the radio, being on a podcast, that kind of thing. In the radio podcast sense, if you're doing something like that, be sure to mention AGvisorPRO at the end. Our team can even give you a nice short link, like a little URL that's easier to spell than AGvisorPRO, that you can get out there to move people towards the app. The other thing too is I made an example slide here of a slide that you could maybe put at the end of a presentation. Again, you can funnel people to your own personal website, to agvisorpro.com, but again, you don't necessarily have to give out your email or your phone number. Again, this is really moving people. They only have one way to go, right? Towards the app to contact you. So that's another way we can do this. Email signatures. This is just a no-brainer. And within our sphere of AGvisors, we think Dennis Vermette probably has the slickest email signature of anybody. It's just so clean. And we've all been through that process where we've seen email signatures that are much longer than the body of the text. Well, I like what Dennis has done here. The only way you can reach him outside of emailing him back is to connect via AGvisorPRO. It's a very smart and direct way to do that. Moving on here to text response. And this is probably one of the most effective things you do. I know every business is different, but I've had in my businesses too really pesky customers who call me a lot, like high touch. You know, when those people are calling and say, I don't want to take this call right now, and you go, I'm not here right now, in a text message. That's an opportunity where you could say, I'm not here right now. Consider trying to book a session with me through the AGvisorPRO platform, right? So that's also just a fantastic way of moving people towards the app. And it's giving you a soft way of denying a phone call. You know, just say, oh, I can't talk right now. Well, maybe you could, right? I'd rather talk to you in AGvisorPRO. Great way of doing it without being too forceful about it. And lastly, social media. Again, if you're a user of social media, there are things you can do there. But I'm going to pass this off to Chantel to talk about, because she is the social media guru here.
Mm-hmm. That's a nice title.
Yeah.
So I know most of you experts are on social media somewhere, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. So I pulled up an Instagram profile here just to talk through a little bit. The first thing I want to note is the bio. So again, this is short, concise, clear, very similar to the one that you just made for your AGvisorPRO profile. So you want to fill this in. You can link it to other personal touches that you have too, where you know that Andrew Campbell has Fresh Air Media. He linked that on here as well. So he's promoting both his personal business and, personal and business. The second thing is your photo. So an image is very important. It gains attention. It builds your profile, your brand. It can be a vital memory cue for someone that's maybe watching your social media, and it gives value to the audience. So some things to consider when you're kind of building out your board and your photos is a color scheme. You want it all to kind of flow, and you want to figure out what is your why. And I challenge you guys to think about that. Like, what is your why and who is your target audience? Because the images that you're posting, those are the images that you want to really pull in that target audience. And the third thing is your AGvisorPRO LinkedIn or unique link. So if you don't know where to find this, if you log into your profile on the AGvisorPRO app, and in the middle there you can see I highlighted my own. It's my own unique link, and I could copy it to clipboard, and when I plug that into any of my social media accounts, when somebody clicks on that, this is what comes up. It asks people to download the app, and I mean, bang, you just monetized your business and made money.
And I mean, just moving on from that too, thank you, Chantel. Again, I just wanted to touch on the point that, like, this team was 2 people a while ago. Maybe the last time you really touched base with the team, it might have been, 2 or 3 people. It's now a significant amount of people, and this is your team. This is your team, and we're all here to help you achieve success with this platform. So it's going to be a bit of a back and forth, but we encourage you to reach out. On that note too, one of the first people you might want to touch base with, next slide, will be our good friend Wilson Schultz. I'm just going to hand this off to you for a second, Wilson. You're kind of the customer service master here, another guru.
Yeah, for sure, Nick. Thank you. So yeah, reach out to me over AGvisorPRO. Just type my name, Wilson Schultz, into the AGvisors tab. I'm going to come up. I'm free to connect with. If you ever have questions or problems, just schedule a session with me or connect instantly with me on there. Here's my profile link down there. You can also use that, but just type my name and you'll find me fairly easily. Next up, we're going to have a Q&A. So I'm going to hand this off to the whole team and everyone here. Any questions you'd like to ask and like answered, we'd be happy to answer them live right now. I've already got a few coming in about you're not able to see your AGvisor profile when you're logged into your own account. This is a bug we've had since the beginning. Patrick, you can elaborate on this. I think it's being fixed in the new UI UX, but just so you know, you are there, and I can send you a photo if you'd like to see what your profile looks like. When you edit under my AGvisor profile, you can set everything up. Unfortunately, when you're in your own account, you can't search yourself. That's just how it is right now.
That's correct. Yeah. Obviously, one other way would be like making another profile and log in like that. But I think the easiest way is definitely if you just reach out quickly to us, we can send you a print screen, and then that gives another opportunity for us to maybe also say like, hey, have you considered making this change or that change? So really, we're here to help you guys and make this better.
I just saw another comment from Elise Watson. Really good to see you here, our apiarist. So I want to answer a question. She asked, how do you recommend communicating to an audience that has been accessing you through phone, email, and text without a payment platform? You've been doing this for years. How can you get them to start paying? So it's all about switching the mindset. Rob, you can touch on that a bit, and a lot of the tips Nick gave would also be helpful.
Yeah, I think this is a really important question. I remember the day I got a call many years ago from a farmer in Saskatchewan. He wasn't a customer of mine, and he's picking my brain about fertility program for field peas. And I remember saying to him, his name was Marshall, and I remember saying to him, you know how I make money, right? And he goes, yeah, you make money through advice. I said, yes, I make money through advice, and I'm going to give you some advice here. And at the end of this, I'm sending you an invoice. Okay. And he goes, okay. And that was really the beginning of the thinking around AGvisorPRO. You know, you on this session here, many of you have devoted your entire careers to learning your craft. You are the best in your field. Why would you give that away? Do you think a lawyer or an accountant gives away their advice on tax or legal structure for free? Of course not. And yet somehow we're expected to just give this all away for free. So, you know, that conversation, that question that you just had there is a really important one. And what we're trying to do right now is trying to coach you guys on saying that during your presentation, you know, I make money through the advisory services I offer. I'm available through AGvisorPRO. Another question that we had here, Wilson, was about the pricing model. And in the new UI UX and going into the future, we're going to have more discussions. Our experience so far has been that most technical questions, if you get away from all the small talk, most technical questions can be answered in 10 minutes. We may change that to 15. I don't know. We have 3 pricing levels right now. We're still sorting some of this stuff out, but it is, and the other side of the equation is a lot of the farmers that I've talked to are totally okay with paying for advice from you, from Tom Wolf, from Scott Mears, from the people in the industry who have devoted their careers to making agriculture a better place. We should not be ashamed of saying to people, you know, you can reach me through AGvisorPRO. It's how I get paid. It's how I make my money.
And just to speak to that a little bit more too, like, you know, it's a new paradigm. It's a new way of communicating, but there was a time when email was, you know, not the professional norm. There was a time when text messages was not the professional norm. what happened is that we got professionals using these things, and eventually they became the norm. So use is how we do this. We have to ask people to do it and then give them a good experience.
And we just had another question coming in from Elise. Patrick, I'll let you take this one. I'll just read it out. So how do you recommend communicating to an audience that has been accessing you through phone and email? Oh, sorry, that's the same one. But is there a way to ensure that the first-time user gets some free time to encourage first-time use?
Patrick, can you take this one?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, great question, Elisa. Love it, definitely. Like as of right now, we've given out credits to first-time users. So definitely their first call to you, it would be free. And if you have a specific way, or maybe also maybe just make an outreach through your community or through your current list that you already have, happy to chat about that, and maybe just say hey, if you guys sign up right now with Elise Watson, get your first video call in the next month type of thing, right? And really drive it that way. So happy to chat about that as well.
We're still working this out, folks, too. I mean, this is something that we basically launched. I mean, we've been building it since last year, since 2019, but we're lifting this off the ground. And COVID has provided a perfect backdrop. GoToMeeting has been around a long, long time. We could have been doing all kinds of meetings with GoToMeeting, but instead we jumped on planes and we traveled around and we did all this. Well, COVID has forced us to use GoToMeeting and Zoom and Google and Hangouts and stuff. And the world has discovered that it's a pretty good way to shrink time and space, but there's no real way to monetize yourself using Google Hangouts or FaceTime. The other thing that we wanted to mention, and I didn't, is that if you have an Apple phone, somebody else has an Android and a desktop, AGvisorPRO flows freely. It's device agnostic. So we can provide that connectivity. And another real important feature, of course, is that every single session is saved for future reference by the user. So in my case, I talk pretty quickly. We can cover a lot of ground in 10 minutes. And that farmer might want to say, what did Rob say about boron in canola again? And he can go back and listen, or he can share that information with his dad or with his son or somebody else on the farm. So those are a couple other things that I think we're building in. So again, we're open to your suggestions, your ideas, and how to leverage this technology to do a better job. I don't think we need to spend as much time in a truck or in a car driving. Veterinarians, I mean, there's no reason why we couldn't put a vet in a barn with AGvisorPRO to determine if that animal needs to be brought in or if the situation can be solved right in the barn. And that's a way for a vet to monetize their brains as well.
We've just got a few more questions coming in. I'm going to try to nail some of them quick, and Patrick and Rob, Nick and Chantel jump in if I step out of line or anything. But Elise asked how many credits. Elise, I'm happy to give 1, 2 free sessions, 3 free sessions of credits to clients if you're all right with that. We can just have an open conversation about as you're reaching out through your funnel, whoever's coming on, I can just go on the back end and give them some free credits so they can try it out with you. Happy to work with you on that and take that offline. Michael, where did that go? Well, they keep getting lost here.
Is there a way to post work history to further bolster your expertise? That's from Michael Gill.
At the moment, we just have the capability to post your education, your professional designations, and then in your bio or what do you do best, you can post personalized stuff. So right now, if you put some of that work experience in there, that would be where to put it. Patrick, that's a cool idea to have work experience listed in there at some point too. I don't know what you think about that.
I want to just jump in here for a second. Felix Weber in the chat is asking about should be an option for discounted call. I understand I won't make money, but Felix, there's 2 kinds of streams that we have going on right now. One is an independent advisor. That's what this particular webinar was designed for. So it's for somebody who can offer independent advice, and I think you can because you've been a coach and an agronomist and you have technical advice. However, you also have a business, and it may be that through your business you want to sign up with Tech Direct. And TechDirect would allow any customers out there to interface with you directly for free because you may be wanting to promote your business. So this session here really is for independent advisors who want to monetize their brain. However, if you're running a business, and I know we have some people on here from 33.7, which is doing a farm liquidity solution with insurance, those people have signed up for TechDirect, and so farmers can connect to them for free. So this particular session, this particular webinar has been designed for those of you who want to monetize your brains, who are primarily putting yourself out there as an unbiased source of opinion.
So I took Felix's question a little differently. That's a good opportunity to talk about TechDirect there. But the main meat there of Felix's point is, is there a way of starting at a lower fee for just initial customers? And we kind of talked about with credits and growing over time. Is credits our only methodology for doing that, or are we exploring other avenues as well?
Yeah, and maybe let me speak to that. So definitely one of the things that we've looked at it for going down the road is potentially having the ability to have a bit of a scale where you can say, hey, I am in this price range and I want to be a bit more on the lower end. For now, though, we really felt like let's not go into the down the road on having a price war and things like that. So in that regards, we really felt one of the best ways to address it is just to give out free credits. If you really want to encourage use, we're happy to do that and do it that way. So if you have a current client list and you'd like to push out to those current clients, talk to us. As Rob mentioned, we're all in the same boat together here.
Dennis, you're going to address the Dennis question. Read it out. I'd like to hit it.
Are you still considering charging the AGvisors a fee of some sort?
We never have charged the AGvisors a fee. So all you guys come on and you guys are your profile, your listing is free. When a farmer makes a connection and the session fee is taken, we take our margin from that session fee. But as far as you guys listing and coming on the app, that's all free.
And I'll maybe touch on a question that just came through the chat as well. Jack Sennert, and I apologize if I'm not saying your last name the right way, but you ask, in the pro designation, there is no MBA. Again, in the new user interface, it will be different where you can basically ask us like, hey, can you add this professional designation? For now, I'm happy to take this down and add it on the back end the way we have it right now, and they'll reach out to you again and let you know once we have added it. Definitely an MBA should be on there.
Listen, can you read out Dennis's question?
Yeah, for sure. I'm just going down here. I also wanted to take the chance. Elaine Fraser asked the question. I can't find it now, but we'll start with Dennis's and then I'll move on to Elaine's.
I'll do it. I've got it right here. And that's if we're successful in funneling a potential client to the platform, but he just wants to talk to me to outline his needs to see if I can help him. Can he do this without being charged? Right now, the answer is no, but we are toying with the idea of, with the new UI UX, we're toying with this idea that maybe the first 3 minutes would be free. In the first 3 minutes, we could find out whether or not the AGvisor actually has the experience to help with that farmer's needs. So Dennis, we don't have a real easy way to do that yet today, but we're cognizant of the fact that we need to provide a bit of a window or a bit of a way to allow you to know if you actually can be of use to this particular farmer. So I know Patrick is working on that. Maybe just touch on that, Patrick, and then we'll come to Elaine's question.
Yeah, there's not more to add to that as of right now, for sure. We are thinking of giving the first 3 minutes basically not having any charge at all. So if you see in the first 3 minutes, hey, I'm not the right guy to help you with this, just be honest and say, look, please reach out to someone else. Obviously, the way it works right now, if you have a guy that reaches out and he gets charged and you felt like you weren't the right guy, reach out to us and we do it manually. Happy to help in that regards as well. So that's kind of where we're at, that it's just we need to work together, right? And happy to look at those specific situations and make it work for sure.
I found that the Elaine phrase question here. Getting a lot of calls for transition planning during the great pause. Curious how I can get folks to pay for those 20-minute discovery calls. I mean, the answer there is when you pick up the phone and somebody says, I want to talk to you about potential transition planning. You say, I don't do it over the phone. I do it in the app. Because I can get compensated there, and then we move people that direction. Again, you need to have confidence that the app is going to work and it's going to be a positive experience, but the way to monetize it is to not take a call, not take an email, and funnel it through the bottleneck that is our app, right? It controls the flow.
Can I elaborate on that a little bit?
Just to comment again on this, and Patrick, I need you to address this because I'm not quite sure. We have a rate for 10 minutes, but beyond 10 minutes, there's still charges, but they decline in time, but it's not clear on the app. So if Elaine had a 20-minute session, and I can't remember what Elaine's rate is, I'm not sure, but if she had a 20-minute session, what would the second 10 minutes be like, Patrick?
Yeah, it is discounted by 25%. Again, this is something that currently only the farmer sees on his site, where he goes and pre-authorizes on how much it's actually going to cost. I showed you guys in the flow beforehand in terms of if someone schedules a session that you'll get passed on that information. As of right now, you don't. So if you're unclear, which you probably are, about your rates, I'm happy to share on our end on how it looks as of right now, and I can show you the table. That's that.
I also wanted to elaborate on Nick's comment for Elaine. So it's also really helpful when you do the sessions through the app because it's archived. So if you have a consultation with somebody, they're going to get a recording of what you've already talked about. And then you can also use that information to update your records so that you can keep like a database of all your clients as well.
Yeah, and I just wanted to elaborate on that quickly too, Elaine. So recently, last week, we had someone, one of our experts, they were on Twitter and someone was asking them a question. And instead of just answering the question in the DMs or giving out the phone number or giving out the email, they actually directed them, hey, I'll actually give you a really good experience if you will contact me through AGvisorPRO. So that's kind of an example. We're not always asking you to push everyone through instantly, but there's multiple different funnels depending on your network where you can just push people into the app. And instead of just giving out that free advice, instead of giving out your phone number, you make that decision to push them through the app. And that's how we're going to start to change the mindset here.
On your Twitter account, I mean, Twitter is there and Facebook and Instagram are there to build your profile as an expert. I don't think you should be answering questions over Twitter. When I see independent advisors answering questions over Twitter, I'm going, why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. To put your AGvisorPRO URL, your AGvisorPRO, your connection that Chantel showed you into your profile of Twitter makes total sense. You do that for Instagram and Facebook. So there they have a place to instantly connect. And again, to the extent that you can, during your tweets, talk about the fact that you're available through AGvisorPRO, that would only benefit yourself and it would also benefit us.
Cool. So just some more questions coming up here. John Thomas asks, so with privacy of information about emailing customers to let them know I am part of the AGvisorPRO, is that okay? Is it okay to email people and let them know?
Yeah, if you already have relationships with the customers or the people that are on your emailing list, you can let them know that you are part of this platform. It's basically creating another channel for you to be accessed, and it's letting them know that you're part of another network. So we think that that doesn't overstep any bounds at all.
Also, I'll add to that too, you do not have to invent the verbiage yourself. You do not have to invent the marketing material yourself or whatever. We can help you with that. Like we've been talking about this for ages, right? So we can help you get that done really good.
For ages, or at least 18 months.
Yeah. When
Nick is really making a good point here, right? Like we have Chantel, we have Nick, we have other people on our marketing team. Like we have assets. We can help you with this. On what are the language that you should be using, some of the pictures, videos on how it's actually working in reality, etc. So again, reach out to us. We're here to help you guys.
Well, and on that note too, like Elaine Fraze again just makes a comment here. You know, I just think I need to get more comfortable with the app, and I don't answer questions on Twitter. Need to use the URL, but this is it. Part of it is that we don't know how the app kind of works from the farmer end, you know, as an expert. So one of the things we can do is flip the paradigm. You call us as experts, and like we're thrilled to help you with these issues, and you'll get a sense for how the app works when you're on the call end rather than on the receiving end as well, right? So, I mean, the thing that I just encourage here is for everybody to understand that we're an open team, and I love to chat about marketing stuff. So does Chantel, so does Wilson. Like, we are here to help, 100%.
Yeah. Any of us can be reached for free. I'm going to wind this thing down. I'm going to just address Jack's question here. When people are searching a category, the free show up, and then the professional, then the master, and the expert. So we are going to address that. The free really should be tech direct side. That should be in a separate area. And it's just a matter of us organizing that. I also want to mention, Jack, that inside of our application is geo-tagging, so that if you're searching for a wheat expert and you're in Alberta, Steve LaRock can come up. Now, that doesn't mean you can't talk to Phil Needham in Kentucky, but our platform will geocode you closer to the experts that are closer to the seeker or the farmer asking the question. Yeah, as I mentioned, Chantel, if you can go to the last slide, please. This team is your team. We are building something that is esoteric in nature. It really doesn't exist in the marketplace right now, but I think it's absolutely essential that we figure out a way to be able to monetize and strengthen your ability to help people around the planet in the field of agriculture. Uber didn't exist. Airbnb didn't exist. COVID didn't exist. You know, there's farmers out there that don't even want reps to come on. They don't want people coming on their farms right now because of the risk of infection. So this is a brand new way to be on the farm without being on the farm. I encourage you as AGvisors to reach out to Wilson. He's your go-to source here. And I also want you to know that you can download the app and you can hit me anytime for free, or anybody else on this list of people here. And we're here to help you grow your business. So I want to thank all of you for being part of it. Chantel, you were a terrific host. I did a great job. This is our first webinar of many. And Nick Syke will be clipping out parts of this session to help you with additional coaching going forward. I want to thank everybody and have a safe and a very successful fall season. Thanks a lot.